Coming up, our first alert storm team is tracking a cold morning. Division among Fargo City leaders over the embattled Africa restaurant and nightclub. Plus, why your electric bill could be going up again. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, everyone. Take a look behind me. That's early this morning outside the TV studio here. That's snow, and it comes as we're kicking off Winter Weather Awareness Week. Hutch tells us what we'll wake up to in the morning. Hutch?
Stacey, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Doesn't that just scream chicken noodle soup, Netflix soup, or maybe cream of lutefisk? It's that time of year again. A few flakes flying across the region even tonight as we go into the overnight hours, though the radar is showing most of the activity has shifted off toward the Great Lakes, where we do have some lake effect snow downwind from the Great Lakes in the UP of Michigan and also the Arrowhead of Minnesota. For us, it's the cold taking hold, and that'll be the primary factor in our forecast, even though we cannot rule out more of those flurries like we saw on the video behind Stacey moments ago. It's in the 20s in Grand Forks, Thief River, and Roseau at this hour. It is a little milder in this little window here from Fargo through the Devil's Lake Basin. Heading into the overnight hours, we are expecting a very cold one. In the morning, you can expect 20s to start your day, and high temperatures tomorrow will be the coldest of the week. And it'll be a day when many of us do not get out of the 30s. And the last time that happened with highs of the 30s was April 20th. I'll have details on a cold one for your Tuesday. And we do get to talk about some warmer weather here in just a few moments.
We've come so far since April 20th. All right,
we
thanks,
have.
Hutch. The embattled Africa nightclub is getting a new life after Fargo City Commission approved the transfer application for its liquor license. Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor has details on what happens next.
The Africa nightclub was given 30 days to find a buyer for their liquor license. The owners of their building, 518 Properties, came forward to purchase it. Now that plan is continuing into motion after the Fargo City Commission voted to approve the transfer application. But the vote didn't come easy.
We're not following our own procedures. I'm not saying strip them of the license. What I'm saying is we shouldn't be voting on this at this time. In good faith, I think they're doing the right thing and they're trying to get things in order. But we shouldn't be taking a vote at this time. I'll vote against it at this time.
Commissioner Garrick wanted the vote to be postponed, saying 518 Properties has not brought forward a manager or a concept for the business. The club's management has changed hands multiple times since the death of a security guard in May and several other violations. But Commissioner Pepcorn said he worried waiting could be more of a financial loss for some parties involved.
It's a substantial amount of money that the previous owners could lose if this isn't technically done correctly. That's what I'm concerned about.
In a 3-2 vote, the commission settled on allowing the transfer to happen on the condition that 518 Properties ownership submits a full concept for the business and a manager has been named before the license is issued. 518 Properties say they expect to hire a new manager within the next couple of weeks. In Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
The Liquor Control Board will meet again on November 17th. Fargo's first ever Police Advisory and Oversight Board is one step closer to becoming a reality. The City Commission voted today to move forward with creating the board. It would be made up of 7 members tasked with duties including reviewing use of force investigations. They'll discuss that again in 2 weeks. They say it stems from requests from community members as trust and relations between community and the police have become especially strained throughout the last year. A 36-year-old woman is dead after crashing into a semi-truck earlier today. North Dakota Highway Patrol says the woman was driving east on Highway 13 at around 4:30 this afternoon when she crashed into the semi from behind. Authorities say she was being transported by ambulance but died from her injuries. The driver of that semi was not hurt. The crash is still under investigation. A man is lucky to be alive after crashing his car while fleeing police in West Fargo. That happened just before 1 p.m. North Dakota Highway Patrol attempted to pull over a man near mile marker 338 on I-94. Police say the man fled, doubling back before crashing and flipping over at the intersection of 38th Street West and 40th Avenue West. The driver was not hurt. He has not been identified, but he has been arrested and charges are pending. While most trick-or-treaters listen to the signs that ask you to only take 1 or 2 pieces of candy from unattended bowls, several others did not, and many of them were caught on camera. Both Justin Siegert and Jessica Peck say they were one of many who were hit by Halloween humbugs, stealing all of their candy and the bowls they were in. They say they hope this sparks conversation between parents and kids everywhere.
Just let the kids know that you're kind of wrecking the holiday for other kids that want to trick or treat or have fun.
When people say, oh, they're children, or, oh, you took a risk by putting unattended candy, well, no, that's not how society works.
Neither of those homeowners reported the incidents to police, but officials say a report still can be filed, and if caught, theft charges could also be filed. Will the Minneapolis Police Department continue to exist? Tomorrow's election will decide that. Question number 2 on the ballot asks voters if they want to replace the department with the Department of Public Safety. If that happens, the Minneapolis City Council would have until December 3rd to start the restructuring. They're calling it the nation's most comprehensive free and reduced tuition program for Native American students. Today, the University of Minnesota announced an expansion of Native American student tuition support. Next fall, the university will provide free or reduced tuition to first-year students who are also citizens in one of the state's 11 federally recognized tribal nations. Annual family income must be lower than $75,000. North Dakota lawmakers have submitted some interesting bills for next week's special session. 26 in all. 9 deal with COVID vaccine mandates. One bill bans public schools from teaching critical race theory. Another bans schools from requiring employees to participate in diversity or bias training. And another bill would require pharmacists to fill prescriptions for the drug ivermectin when prescribed as a treatment for COVID. The FDA has not authorized it as a COVID treatment. That special session begins on Monday. Lawmakers will also be discussing how to spend the $1 billion of federal COVID relief money, and already state agencies are pushing them to approve spending on their projects. The Department of Public Instruction says there's limited time to install new curriculum to boost cybersecurity and other tech-related fields. It says only 15 schools offer an AP computer science course, and only 44% of high schools teach a foundational computer science class, even though it's in high demand.
We need to get ahead of this. If we don't do this, another state students are going to do this, and we will be outsourcing our talent rather than growing the talent that can remain in North Dakota and provide services for every other state in the nation.
There will be a bill in that special session to make a computer science class a requirement for high school graduation by 2025. Baszler says the bill would include federal funds to train teachers for those classes. Tomorrow could be the day COVID-19 shots are approved for younger children. The FDA gave authorization for ages 5 to 11 last week. Now it just needs approval from the CDC. Pfizer's lower dose vaccine was found to be 91% effective. No serious side effects has been detected in about 3,100 children ages 5 through 11. A jury has been seated in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. He's charged with shooting and killing 2 men during protests in Kenosha last year over the police shooting of Jacob Blake. 20 people were selected for the jury today, 11 women and 9 men. Rittenhouse has pleaded not guilty. His lawyers plan to argue that the shooting was in self-defense. The showdown over abortion rights again landed on the steps at the Supreme Court today. The nation's highest court listened to arguments about Texas's new law, the strictest in the nation. So far, it's not clear whether the court will issue an order to block the now 2-month-old law. Natalie Brand takes us to D.C.
During 3 hours of arguments, Supreme Court justices called the Texas abortion law unprecedented and a way to circumvent Roe v. Wade.
The actual provisions in this law have prevented every woman in Texas from exercising a constitutional right as declared by this court.
There's a loophole that's been exploited here or used here.
That loophole centers around how Texas wrote the law to try and keep it out of federal courts. Instead of state officials enforcing the law, private citizens can go to state courts and sue anyone who helps perform an abortion. Fines start at $10,000. The justices also signaled concern that the new law could be used as a model for other states to restrict other constitutional rights.
And it could be free speech rights, it could be free exercise of religion rights, it could be Second Amendment rights. If this position is accepted here.
Demonstrators on both sides of the issue gathered outside the court Monday.
We're excited to see a post-Roe America and be able to provide women with the resources they need to keep their children.
I would be very disappointed if we went back before Roe versus Wade. Very, very disappointed.
While Monday's argument centered around legal procedure, 1 month from today, justices will hear arguments on a case that is asking the High Court to overturn Roe versus Wade and allow Mississippi's 15-week ban on abortion. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
The Texas abortion law prohibits abortions when a fetal heartbeat is detected about 6 weeks after conception, oftentimes before a woman knows that she's pregnant. Your electric bill could be going up even more. Minnesota Power is proposing an 18% rate increase. They say that would raise the company's operating revenue by $108 million, adding that the proposal would increase a typical residential bill about $15 a month, and a small business could see an increase of $55 per month. Over the next year, Minnesota Power will receive feedback from state agencies and customers before making a final decision. West Fargo police officer Tim Brown is recovering after being transferred to the Nebraska Medical Center for specialized care. Officer Brown suffered a heart attack yesterday morning while on duty. His medical team says he remains on a ventilator in critical condition, but he has been showing some positive signs. A GoFundMe has been set up. You can donate by clicking the link on this story on your free VNL News app. Still ahead tonight, Joe Manchin slams the brakes on President Biden's spending plan. We'll break down the next steps.
Speaking of steps, may have had to watch your step on the deck. This is a little snow and ice in Thief River Falls. Thanks, Elizabeth, for your report today. Winter Weather Awareness Week across North Dakota. Some terms you'll hear: winter storm warnings, watches, winter weather advisories. We'll have details on some wintry weather, but not a lot of snow in your forecast. Details next.